Playing the game. Yeah. See, I don't even know. PlayStation 4? Look, Tristan, look. She bad as hell, too. Motherfucker. Shit, go to Walmart. I bought that from Walmart. I paid, I think, $29.99. Yeah. Oh, and I also got some balls too. You stupid. I say you crazy. You gonna have to wait till I finish. You gonna have to wait till I finish this game because it's a franchise. I can't quit. Just hit me up. You stupid. All right.
Check the wrist, man, got him hot. Hey, man, can't ball like this, man. Lord, pass the pigs.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank. All right, Coach. U.S. Bank Stadium holds just under 70,000 spectators, and they've come out in full force for this one. A fantastic atmosphere here in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. They begin with a run by Smith. And they are not going to let him turn the corner. Some serious pressure right out of the gate. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down. To throw on second down. Daniels going deep for Diggs. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs, his first touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. It's a short kick, taken at the 15. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. The first carry now, this is Johnson. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll go as a loss of 5. And it'll be a 2nd and long.
Here we go. 60 or.
Operating from the gun, George. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The defensive end, Danielle Hunter, drops him.
2 plays so far, a run and a pass attempt, and both have gone backwards.
Probably not how they drew that up.
Not at all.
Looking for a better play coming up on 3rd. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Off the play fake. Daniels. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and press your advantage.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
And it's taken in at the 9. 12 yards on the return that time, and the Lions will take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive, and they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion, guys a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same way. Just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3 and out.
Have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. George. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Daniil Hunter able to record his 5th sack of the season.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
A pickup of 27, and they pick up the first down in the process. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Nasir Adderley. And the return stops just a little bit shy of midfield at the 48-yard line. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician.
Hello.
But you're right. It felt like a matter of time.
Jerry, being in the
house. I
house.
think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
A nice-looking play to start the drive down the middle and complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Give him 18 there and give the Vikings a first down. This quarterback now already over 100 yards passing in just this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Daniels. He'll take a shot, and that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to it. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. There's no denying they want to get him involved. That's already the 5th time that they've looked his way in this first quarter.
So that tells me defensively that they want to insist on going in that direction. Make sure you get your best people in the area to try and take that away.
And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over first and 10. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position, backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
I'm just waiting on you to come home so you can feed me. I ain't talking about that. Ah!
Here we go. Let's make these babies cry all the way back home.
They keep it with Smith on first down. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. To throw on second down, Daniels. And he rifles one incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. And it's third down. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. You can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. Here's Jordan Berry now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. Taken from just outside the 30. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
What you doing?
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a first down.
Ready. 7. Ready.
On first and 10, George. Oh, ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Nasir Adderley. And a great return here gets this one all the way down to the 26-yard line. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? On second down, here's Smith. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
On third and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Detroit was up for the challenge through the air. They force a 4th down. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but and for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Gary and Conlon. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense. Just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
I hope you brought your lunch because I'm about to take you to school.
Now it's Smith. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. The tackle made there by Jared Davis. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Daniels. And he's able to find Diggs. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That'll put him over 150 yards receiving now. Quite a ball game and a 1st down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. A 1st down carry for Smith. He'll have a 1st down inside the 10. And finally wrestled down at the 8-yard line. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our 1st half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. They'll run it now with Smith. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4. A pickup of 4 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal from inside the 5.
Big stop, let's go.
This is Smith. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Point after try forthcoming. And the lead is now 24. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either. This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
And he comes back with one complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Back to throw. George. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Throwing right, and that's complete. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 40.
Excellent pace, money throw right there to move the sticks.
Throwing on 1st down, George. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. Former Buckeye first-rounder Garyon Conley there to knock that away. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off near the 34. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
Throwing to start the drive. Daniels. He'll rifle this one deep right. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. A big play there just before halftime. 58 yards. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So even though it's 1st down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And his kick is indeed good. So how about the turn of events there at the end of the half?
This is one where you go charging into your locker room having collected 3 points you didn't expect to get. And you look across the field and you see guys kind of pointing fingers at each other like, dude, how'd you turn it over and make us give up 3 right there?
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'm going to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now.
And now here's another interception. Picked up by Mike Hughes. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down. On the carry, here's Smith. He's able to get 6. A nice pickup down to the 21.
He lost it?
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Shut up.
On second down now, it's Smith. He's got the first down inside the 10. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. With his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the interception by the Vikings D leads to a touchdown. Extra point right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game. And blitz coming, and down he goes.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Gary and Conlon. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it, but it just tells you about the game of football. It giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times. On first down, it's Smith, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Again, it's Smith. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Looking to throw. Daniels. It's complete to Diggs. And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Smith trying to run for it. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A 9-yard touchdown run as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And he keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now, no question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, and it's got him in the lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. They stay on the ground on 1st with Johnson. He'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a 1st down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Tackle made there by the UCF man, Mike Hughes. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They'll run it with Johnson. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves them with 3rd and 5.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Ready.
Mike 51. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Back to throw. George. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. Now Kaimi Fairbairn for the field goal try. On the right hash, it's a 43-yard attempt. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked a field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit 3rd quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag? You just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you think you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And he's got a good gain of 7 up to the 37.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On third down, Smith. And he will be knocked down hard, but he will have the first down. Third and medium, they opted to run instead of pass, and it worked. First down. Off play action. Daniels. And Diggs has it. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. 25 yards that time. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal.
Junior, go give me one.
All of them, they all want to be number 1.
Walker.
They'll run on first down. Smith. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up first and goal.
Thank you.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal.
Giovanni, did you eat?
About 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6.
So
that run gets him about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now second and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook.
Whatever.
Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
On second down, Small. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Okay.
2 straight shots on the ground. Now on third, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that second down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4 down territory.
And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to bring up a 4th and goal. Defense didn't budge on third down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football? It's an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
Bay, you still didn't get no edge?
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Following the penalty, it's Johnson. Works his way inside the 30 on a pickup of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside
run.
Sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Bye, Giovanni. Go in the room. Junior, go get Giovanni Bloom.
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Kerryon Johnson, his first touchdown on the year. And the Lions gain a bit of respectability.
That's a whole lot of points still to be down. But congratulations, they're still fighting, and they scored another touchdown.
Like my old high school coach used to say, Charles, he said, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you wish you never had showed up.
Could have saved the gas money, the hotel, what have you, huh?
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Oh, so y'all got a burger.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. They'll run with Smith. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
That ain't right.
And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. The Vikings on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, Daniels. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
You hear Julie talking about goddamn?
Oh, my, they've had some success bringing him off the edge. How about the gambling man who's the defensive coordinator? He's not just bringing pressure. He's bringing a corner to go after the quarterback.
And it's worked twice now, twice like a charm.
And not only has that worked like a charm, he's been awfully disruptive in his usual role covering receivers. Now he's rushing the passer as well.
Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Looking to throw on 2nd down. George. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with. 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. That one goes for 24 yards.
The one in the living room.
On 1st down, George. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost. This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
So where'd all that...
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. Was a kicker from that distance, 56, 57 yards. So many things you got to worry about, but I am a little surprised he didn't get it there.
Yeah, with the way kickers are nowadays, we're surprised anything under 65 that it doesn't get at least to the crossbar. But remember this, you have to drive it a little bit lower.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. That one looks like he'll throw here. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Looking to throw. Daniels into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29, and his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. Now they get a fourth quarter pick, a little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. To throw again, George. Catch is made by Hawkinson, the tight end. And what are the whistles for? Timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds.
Let's go, let's bring it.
On 1st and 10, George. He's going to let it fly. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Johnson running right. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Minnesota, they move a step closer to 500 as their record improves to 2-3. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Lions, the calendar changed October didn't help as they dropped to 0-5 on the year. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Glendale to take on the Cardinals. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.